Hello, thank you for joining me. So today I want to do another Japanese Dreamcast pickups video. My vacation is over. Very sad to leave that and go back to the working world, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So to kick it off here, let's go ahead and check out some video games. For starters, we have Gundam Battle Online. Is the Principality of Zeon still using Windows 98? I guess they waged war against the Federation before Windows XP came out. So this game is a strategy game, a military strategy. On the back of the box it calls it a real-time simulation, and you can see here it uses a hexagonal grid layout. I can only imagine that this came out during the height of the popularity of things like Warcraft, and you could play online with other people, and I'm not talking about World of Warcraft, I mean the original Warcraft. So here I am definitely playing it offline. There is an offline mode, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I have figured out how to move my units, so I'm sending 3 to the left, 1 to the right. And of course, due to those darn Minersky particles, I didn't see this ship. So I'm sending another ship over to help the one unit on the right. And now stuff is going down. So in this mode we have several mobile suits and our cruiser. I couldn't figure out anything especially good to do with that, but I'm just randomly picking stuff, trying to see what happens here. We somehow were able to engage these 2 mobile suits close range, and I've sent one of my mobile suits out to engage the Federation cruiser directly. Now, I could not figure out how to get any of my other mobile suits out there to help it. I believe I was able to choose support to do that after the fact, but in the heat of battle here I basically just sat back and watched my poor lone mobile suit try to hold its own against this cruiser, which it does valiantly and actually defeats it. But I have to say, this is a pretty cool thing, being able to just strategize about the battle. You get these cool cinematic camera angles that I don't think you would get to appreciate watching this battle play out the way you can if it were an action game. Next up is another game in the Simple 2000 series. I believe this is the last one I need for the Dreamcast. This is Fudeai. According to Japanese Wikipedia, this was originally a doujin game by the Circle Liner System that became an addition to the Simple series. Staff of First Kiss Story, you may remember from my review of the PCFX game, are credited on the back of the box. That is probably in association with HuneX, as they were publisher on First Kiss Story on the PCFX. Now, I don't believe that has anything to do with the staff from Welcome to Pia Carrot, although they share that publisher. That game was developed by Cocktail Soft, a subsidiary of FNC. That doesn't have anything to do with this game, unfortunately. Now, in the Simple 2000 series on the Dreamcast, this is technically the second in the Renai simulation games, the first one being Natsuhiro Celebration, which I covered in one of my other Dreamcast pickups videos. The other 2 games are credited as Renai Adventure games, Bittersweet Fools and Okaidi. I'm not sure what the difference is between the adventure games and the simulation games, but this one here, as you can see, seems to be typical fare. You play as a 19-year-old student who has graduated high school but is yet to start college, Shunpei Yahagi. This is your sister Miyuki Yahagi, who of course is not related by blood, so we can only imagine where that's going to go. So here he's complaining about how she always adds Chan to his name, and he's like, you know, you don't even call me, you could call me Oni-chan or Oni-sama or something, but you don't even call me brother, you just call me by my first name with Chan attached to it, so. But apparently your sister was coming to let you know that your real sister was looking for you to rope you into a part-time job. Similarly to Welcome to Pia Carrot, I assume this is an opportunity for you to meet and befriend various other characters in the game, so curious to see how this goes. Seems to have some potential. Next we have Experience of Fiction Life, World Neverland Plus. This game is developed by Riverhill Soft. You may remember me mentioning them in my video about Ni no Kuni. It's entirely possible, though completely undocumented, that members of Riverhill Soft that worked on this game actually went on to become members of Level 5, who was developed from staff from Riverhill Soft. So it's entirely possible that they may have worked on some of those newer games. But as you can see here, this is a simulation game. And it's really fun. It's got a neat style with these kind of very nice 2D graphics. And we have the processing power here to, engage in a large-scale simulation. We have these characters all going about their daily lives in this big town. It seems like there are various aspects to the simulation, including work and fighting. You have here practicing martial arts, and love as well. Here you can see a heart over our character's head when we're around certain characters. It seems like you can have romantic relationships, you can have children. It's possible you even continue the game with the children of the character that you created initially. So very interesting seeming simulation. We've got a kind of a day-night cycle going on here. No idea how good this game is. I've only played 15 minutes of it, but it definitely looks like an interesting addition to my Dreamcast collection. Next up, we have 2 games by Kindle Imagine Develop. Imagine that. Tentama, First Sunnyside. So the name of this game should mean something like Angel Egg or Heaven Egg or something along those lines. It kind of reminds me of Tama Q, although I don't believe there's any relation between the 2 games. So this game seems pretty unconventional in this genre, which makes it pretty interesting for me. It looks like you play a female protagonist. So I'm interested to know where this goes, I guess. In the beginning section here, all that we really managed to resolve is that this character is a transfer student, and this is the first time that she's meeting some of these people at school, although it seems that she recognizes someone that she has met before, but he doesn't remember meeting her. So they go into actually a pretty long conversation here, where all that really happens is you get familiar with the characters' personalities a little bit, and you realize that this guy really doesn't remember who she is, but she gets the feeling that she's met friends that are going to be important for her here into the future. Being a transfer student, this is very reassuring for her that she's met some nice people that she thinks she can be friends with. Reading a little bit about this game online, it seems that the larger plot is around an angel that comes to Earth to basically learn to become a better angel by helping this girl find happiness. So if she can help her to kind of find her love, then that will help her to become an angel. The next kid game is close to Inori no Oka, which is like Prayer Hill or Hill of Prayers. So this intro here is pretty ridiculous, and it definitely made me laugh. She's like, "Gee, don't play dumb." She was like, give it back to me. She's like, "Tanaka-kun." And he's like, "What?" He's like, I said it, Tanaka-kun. So apparently she's named her camera Tanaka, and there's kind of a lengthy sequence where you give her some flack about it, but it's a very charming introduction to the game here. The character designs are nice in this, and you have this interaction between you and this girl. Seems like you've been childhood friends. You've known her for a really long time, and it's all very heartwarming and nice. But really, I only play these games for 10 or 20 minutes to kind of get a feeling for them. Sometimes these story-heavy games just don't get really far into the hook. So we had kind of a nice scene here, but I did a little bit of reading on this, and don't quote me on it, but it seems like there might be some sort of supernatural, spiritual element to this, and it almost reminds me a bit of Romania, actually. I don't know how close it is, but there is a room element to the game where it seems like you're in her room and you can kind of influence the things that she interacts with and stuff like that, and you may actually even kind of come back as a spirit, kind of coming back from the dead to kind of help guide what happens in life. So I didn't read a whole lot on this, so I'm not really that up on it, but definitely seems like an interesting game from what I've seen so far. Next up we have Sega's Rent a Hero. So finally, some of that charming Dreamcast 3D graphics here, and this is just hysterical. We've got I guess it's your dad having like a house party here for, I don't know, people from work or something like that. So he has a microphone in his living room and is announcing to everybody that, you know, this party is starting here. So essentially you spend your time doing a bit of an adventure game here, essentially having to go around and talk to different people until you trigger the right events to set the chain of events in motion. But it basically boils down to the chubby guy here is eating too much food. So because this guy's eating so much food, you guys are out of food, you've got to order something. So you use the phone and you call up a place, you order some pizzas so that you guys have, you know, can keep going with your party. And lo and behold, you get a special extra prize from your takeout order. You get this amazing suit that you can don and turn into a superhero. So what just a ridiculous and fun premise this is. This game just seems to have a lot of personality. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think that that's really fun. Here your dad has gotten dressed up in this like Godzilla costume for your, I guess this is a housewarming party, and so you go ahead, you figure, hey, I'll put on my suit, and you deck him one, but you realize that you have a bit more strength than you were anticipating. It turns out that this suit gives you superhuman strength. And not only that, but you find out that you have to pay for this suit. So that is how you become a hero for hire, hence the Rent a Hero #1. And I guess maybe the #1 is telling. This is apparently a game produced by Yu Suzuki for Sega. So, wow, you know, a Yu Suzuki game that we didn't get here. A real crying shame. I guess this was based on a Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis game that had this original premise, and so they went ahead and remade this on the Dreamcast. And apparently it was set to be localized. I guess the localization was pretty much finished. Video game magazines reviewed it and everything, and then it got canceled. I can only assume near the end of the Dreamcast's life. So a real shame that we weren't able to get this game in English in the West, but apparently there are some versions of this digitally floating around on the internet that that were made from the original translation of this, so it's possible if you're into playing games emulated like that, you might be able to find a copy of this in English. But I'm just really glad to have this this version of it in Japanese. A really unique, fun-looking game from Sega. I think this is kind of an undiscovered gem here on the Dreamcast. Yeah, so that's it for my Dreamcast pickups this time. I hope that you enjoyed seeing these. I want to warn you not to subscribe to my channel. Who knows what could happen? You know, Shinji could end up choking Asuka and choosing to destroy the world. So, you know, I wouldn't mess around with that. Definitely do not subscribe to my channel. But I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you are looking forward to more Japanese video gaming related videos in the future. Thank you for watching.